Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Ryan here, and today I have a vlog episode of basically about a bunch of crap. Actually, a bunch of about anything, really. Call it the baby vlog, right? Because I got the baby here, my 2-year-old Valentine, who's going to be hanging out with me. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi. Okay, so what am I going to talk about? Nothing really. I just want to start filming more regularly. About to cook dinner. What did we do today? Maybe I could just talk about bulk crap about the day. I squatted for the first time in a while. Didn't record though. Did box squats. Box squats were pretty, felt my knee a little bit, but other than that, felt okay. Not squatting to parallel, squatting just barely above parallel to a box. Really nothing interesting in this video to talk about. God, maybe I could pull a book, I don't know. Put these bottles away. Oh, she okay?
Yeah.
You sure? Are you sure you're okay?
Paper.
Huh? Are you okay?
In my room.
About on your monitor? Here, let me show you. It's actually really cool looking. Check it out. Look at that huge monitor. It's a 27-inch monitor, and it's beautiful. Look at it.
What's that?
I think Mom is here. Okay, so it's actually really awesome. So if you're thinking about buying some cool tech, this thing is the bomb. I love it. Then also there is about this laptop. I like talking about tech. I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna talk about tech in this video because I just love it. I just love toys and technology. I was actually watching this really cool video on the Tesla 3. Or is it Model 3, and I really want one. Maybe I'll get one next year. But anyways, what else is there that I can talk about? My iPad. If you're thinking about getting an iPad Pro, this is an awesome tool, awesome investment. It's great to read from. It's super fast and responsive. And I got the little pencil here. I got the case with the pencil. It's just great. I love this thing. It's so cool. It's just really fast and responsive, and I love it, What else is there? I got this camera here, which is the Lumix. If you're looking about doing vlogs, this is probably one of the best cameras you can get for vlogging. Why? Because you have the selfie camera, right? You can do this. Look at that. Oh, pretty awesome. I actually made a review video on this. If you actually look up the Lumix LX10, maybe LX15, I can't remember. Look up Active Tech Reviews, like my tech channel, which doesn't have a lot of subscribers, but it has some videos with lots of views. I actually have a video with like 100,000 viewers, or 100,000 views, which is kind of cool. I bought this laptop. Let me show it to you. This is a MSI VR ready laptop. So if I wanted to play Oculus Rift on here, I could. It's a matte screen. Actually, one thing I should mention about these two screens here, they're both matte. I like matte screens because they don't glare. I always prefer. I mean, out of the box, when you go to a store and you see a glossy screen, it looks really cool. But when you're in actual use, you get reflections, and it's kind of annoying. What else is there? What other cool stuff have I bought? I actually have a video. I bought this keyboard. Look at this. It's a keyboard, which is kind of neat. It's nice and small and compact, but the keys feel funky. I don't like it. It's a Logitech.
No.
Maybe I'll put a link in the description. I don't know. Oops, hit you in the head. Sorry. What else can I talk about? Talk about books. Look, I always have some really important books that I sit here on my desk. Actually, let me just show you. That way you can see my little... There you go. You see my books there? I have a little book stack right there. I keep usually 2 or 3 books. Kind of remind me. Actually, I'm getting back to reading physical books because it seems like it's the only thing I can really do. I read this whole book, or the other one anyway. It's this size because I can hold it, and I can't get no notifications in here, right? So these books that I have on here is I have The One Thing, right? Actually, I'll show you a little infographic on here. I thought that was pretty cool. The Success Habit. And here's the one thing question, right? What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? What's the one thing you can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? Here's a little infographic there. And you know what? It's not the one, it's the one thing in the things in your life, right? For example, you can see there exercise, health, spirituality, whatever it is you're trying to do, right? What is it that's the one thing in your life such that by doing it, everything will be easier or unnecessary, right? That's a really good question. What's the one thing I can do to improve my skills at? You know, like saying powerlifting, right? I like to use just lifting weights. What's the one thing? What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, it makes everything else. Sorry. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary in my strength training program, right? And what would that be, huh? Do you know what it would be? Well, for me, I'll tell you right now. What it would be for me is finding a way to train legs without hurting my hip and back. That's the first thing I would think of. I could just somehow maintain strength, like doing deadlifts and squats without it affecting. Because what happens when I train my back or my do squats, I'll get this weird hip pain where when I sit down, it's annoying. And so I don't really train legs anymore. It's kind of unfortunate. I used to power through it, but now I just have the show muscles, which is not bad. It's fine. But like, what's the one thing in your business? How about your job? What's the one thing in your business such that by doing it, everything else would be easier or unnecessary? Like, what would be that in your business and your career? Usually don't pick that one thing. Find that one thing, and that's sort of what this is about. It helps you figure that out. In this book here, this is kind of like a always great book to talk about Ray Dalio principles. There's a lot of good stuff in here. I read this whole book. I really mostly listened to audiobook, but I did read about maybe a third of it on paper. But it just helps you make better decisions, gives you good life principles. It's a really dense book. I really have to go through this book again. If I had that, like, if you had to ask me, what's the one thing on the one thing theme? What would be the one thing that I got from this book? And then if you put a gun to my head and you say, what is the one thing that you got from this book? The best thing. It's probably decision making, because decision making is actually very difficult, right? I'm sitting here, it's the weekend, and I'm deciding what should I do. Should I make a video? Should I play Destiny 2? Should I read a book? Should I read a book to my little girl here? Should I don't know. I have some vlogs that I did from the Philippines. Should I post those? There's like a billion. So like those kinds of decisions. So that's what's so cool about the weekend. It's easy. I'm just doing whatever. It doesn't really matter. I just want to get the most from the weekend. But when it comes to like work, it's simpler, right? You have this goal and focus, right? That's why it's important to set goals. I don't know where I was going. So decision making very helpful with making decisions. Oh, look at that. I just opened to a highlighted section right there. Let me just read the highlighted sections. What's wrong? As with our bodies, some parts of our brains cannot materially affected by external experience, while other parts can be strengthened through exercise. Basically, I can't even read it. Basically, what it says is that there are certain parts about our There are certain parts about the way that we, essentially our brain is, I'm just going to read it again. As with our bodies, some parts of our brains cannot be materially affected by external experience. In the same way that your skeleton isn't changed much through working out, right? Skeleton's not going to get changed that much. While other parts can be strengthened through exercise, like that's the muscles, right? Cardiovascular system. I will have more to say about brain plasticity later in chapter. And essentially what I got from this and why I like it so much is that there are certain parts about the way we are as people it's not going to change, right? I tend to be more introverted. I can still change, but I'm still going to I'll be kind of moving towards that direction, right? And it's about learning my own kind of tendencies and then learning how to capitalize on them. And this one's actually talking about how to manage people, but also manage yourself. Okay. Here's another good highlighted section. While I used to get angry and frustrated at people because of the choices they made, I came to realize that they weren't intentionally acting in a way that seemed counterproductive. They were just living out things as they saw them, based on how their brains worked. Right? So people think differently, obviously, but if you're a parent, you can pretty much understand what it means to like yell at your children, pick up your clothes, hurry up, we gotta leave. I mean, it's it's because they see things differently. Okay, you want to go? You hear mom? Okay, she hears mom. Anyways, okay, next. What else do we got here? So we are born with attributes that can help us and hurt us depending on their application. So, what's that mean? Well, think about it. I mean, there are things that make you great, that makes you good at certain things. It also makes you terrible at other things, right? And I think one of the biggest mistakes is that we try to get good at everything. And that's kind of what you don't want to do. You want to get good at one thing. Because that's actually how you make a majority of your money, because you get really good at one thing. It doesn't mean that you should be totally useless at everything else, but the truth is, a jack of all trades doesn't really make a whole lot of money. They don't do a whole lot. That's not to say that you're not good at other things. It's just saying that you have to really double down on your strengths. Here's a highlighted section I'll read. For example, a highly creative, goal-oriented person, good at imagining new ideas, might undervalue the minute daily life, which is also important. He might be so driven in his pursuits of long-term goals that he might have disdain for people who focus on the details of daily life. Right? So it's kind of like someone who thinks big, who has like big, huge, humongous goals, but one of the challenges is they see the world in such a different way that they will sometimes discount the details. And the details are important, right? They really are important. You need. And that's the thing about family and organization. There are different parts of our different functions, right? I'm a personal trainer at a gym. That used to be my main full-time gig. And there's people at the front desk, right, that have to check people in. There's people that have think about what it means to be a personalized trainer in a gym. One of the best advantages of that is you're able to essentially not have to worry about payment processing. You don't have to sign up for your own merchant account. I mean, a lot of things are easier because then you don't have to get leads. You share like basically half your revenue with the gym, but you get, if you get to a certain point, you can get benefits. There's room for growth if you want to, become a manager. So there's like pros and cons about being, because that's what organizations do. They kind of silo positions in a way where the person that's doing the main job can get really good at that thing. And that's kind of one of the benefits of getting a job versus starting your own business. Eventually, if you want to start your own business, the direction you want to go into, realize no matter what you do, it's because you got really good at one thing. And it's funny, this is really about one thing, but it's like a one thing vlog, I guess. That's probably what I call the name of this episode. I'm just like a random vlog. What else is there? I'm just trying to like fill space with talking. You know why? Because I don't want to edit this video. I just want to like upload it and then like just hit render so that way I can, because this one's like my first 4K video I'm going to record, and I'm kind of curious to know like if it's going to look better, if you'll be able to see like every little tiny pore on my face. What else was I thinking of? I got the iPhone 8. Should you get an iPhone 8 or the iPhone 10? Well, one of the reasons why I didn't get the iPhone 10 was because it's a brand new experience, and I didn't want to go through the honeymoon phase of learning a new phone. I actually do still enjoy that, but then I got crap to do. I got other stuff to do, and it's very easy to get sucked into like I bought Destiny 2, and I don't really play it, And I mean, I just don't want to get sucked in. Actually, those kinds of games I don't really get sucked into, but Hearthstone and StarCraft, man, I can get like freaking just StarCraft especially. I like RTS. Real time strategy is my favorite games. It's sort of how I communicate. Like I'm talking to you in a video, and I'm able to essentially like, if I want to, I can edit it. I can kind of. Another thing too is that I have this trouble because I'm sensitive to how people respond to me. And it's very difficult because I have a camera and there's nobody there, right? So I can essentially adjust kind of the way I think or focus. And it's kind of really interesting, actually, because then I don't get distracted by, I did get distracted. I just clicked my mouse. But I don't get distracted by I just got distracted. I don't get distracted by people's response. I get response afterwards. I can take a look at people's views, and I kind of like it like that, you know. I don't know where I was going with that, but I got this thing that's bothering me. It's like, what is this? Did someone hack my computer here? I got this thing that's called. Let me zoom in so you can see it. What is that? Rasvata? I don't know what that is. Let me Google it. Let's go see what happens if I go to the website. I have a feeling that it might hack my computer. You want to find out what happens? Let's find out. Ryan's computer breaks because I'm too curious to find out what this little thing is here on my... So this is the domain. It is... If you can't tell, I got some pretty good... I got a pretty... It's fair to say I have a little bit of ADHD. Like a little bit. I mean, I've heard there's some people with some very severe ADHD. I have very mild. So let's go see here. So I put my browser in incognito mode. ZASTAVKIFRERU. It's a Russian website, I guess. Let's go see where this goes. Hopefully it doesn't blow up my computer. And it looks oh, I'm so stupid. That's my freaking wallpaper. That's what that is. That's so silly. Anyways, what else am I going to talk about today, guys? Talk about books, talk about tech. If you're watching this far, 15, 16 minutes into the video, what do you want me to talk about when I make a random video like this? Because I like vlogging. You know, I like this is kind of a way I think, the way I like to. It's very cathartic to do this, you know. Okay, I think I'll end it there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all on the next video.